Across the screens, Part 8. As Lina stood in the mall, she felt a growing unease. The weather outside had taken a sudden turn for the worse, with heavy rain and hailstones pounding against the glass walls of the building. An announcement echoed through the mall, urging everyone to stay inside until the storm passed. Lina's heart raced, her anxiety rising as she glanced around the bustling mall. She had a sinking feeling that this storm was more than just a coincidence. Holding her daughter's hand tightly, Lina forced herself to focus. "It's just a storm," she whispered to herself, trying to calm her racing thoughts. "I need to take care of my daughter." She knew she couldn't afford to let her fears get the best of her, especially not when her daughter was depending on her. The kids' play zone provided a safe distraction for her daughter, who was happily playing with other children, blissfully unaware of her mother's growing tension. Lina tried to keep herself calm, watching her daughter with a protective eye. She was determined to leave the mall as soon as the weather cleared, but for now, they were stuck. Meanwhile, the business conference has just concluded. Alex, now free from his responsibilities, realized he would be stuck in the mall due to the weather. Deciding to make the most of the situation, he thought he'd do some shopping for his upcoming wedding. Sophie had been handling most of the preparations, but Alex wanted to contribute something personal, a small gesture to show his appreciation. As he wandered through the mall alone, he found himself passing by the kids' play zone. He wasn't particularly interested in the children playing there, but something made him pause. A strange, almost magnetic pull drew his attention to the little ones laughing and running around. He scanned the area, his gaze moving from one child to the next, until his eyes fell on a little girl. She was playing joyfully, her laughter echoing in space. There was something about her that caught his attention, a beauty and grace that seemed almost familiar. She was different from the others, with an air of innocence that captivated him. As Alex watched her, a smile tugged at the corners of his mouth. He couldn't quite place why he felt so drawn to her, but there was something about her that made him pause. It was as if he was seeing a piece of his past, something buried deep within him, reflected in this child. Then, as the little girl turned slightly, Alex's breath caught in his throat. There was something in her eyes, her expression, something that reminded him of Lina. His heart skipped a beat as he felt a rush of emotions, memories he had long buried suddenly flooding back. The resemblance was uncanny, and for a moment he was lost in a sea of confusion and longing. Lina, standing just a short distance away, hadn't noticed Alex yet. She was too focused on her daughter, trying to keep her safe and calm amidst the chaos of the storm. But the tension in the air was palpable, and deep down, she felt that something was about to happen, something she wasn't prepared for. As Alex continued to watch the little girl, the storm outside raged on, trapping everyone in the mall. He knew he should move on, continue with his shopping, but he couldn't tear his eyes away from the child. His mind raced with questions, doubts, and a growing sense of unease. Could it be, he thought? Could this little girl be? No, it's impossible. But the resemblance was too strong to ignore, and the more he looked, the more convinced he became that this child was somehow connected to him, to Lina. At that moment, Lina looked up, her eyes scanning the play zone. And there, just beyond the colorful barriers, she saw him, Alex, standing still, staring intently at her daughter. Her heart froze, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. She felt a wave of panic and disbelief, realizing that the person she had tried so hard to leave behind was now standing just a few feet away. The storm outside raged on, but the real storm was brewing inside the mall, as past and present collided in the most unexpected of ways. Alex hadn't seen Lina yet. As he walked away from the play zone, he shook off the strange feeling that had come over him. It must be my imagination, he thought. Just a coincidence. He tried to dismiss the thoughts, convincing himself that the little girl's resemblance to Lina was nothing more than a trick on his mind. With that, he turned his attention back to his original plan and continued to explore the shops. He was looking for something special, something meaningful to bring back for Sophie as a token of his commitment to their upcoming marriage. But despite his best efforts to focus, the strange encounter kept nagging at him, a feeling he couldn't quite shake off. Meanwhile, Lina's heart was pounding. She had seen Alex, and the sight of him standing there had sent a jolt of fear and sadness through her. She wasn't ready for this, wasn't ready to face him or confront the past. Desperately, she hoped that he hadn't noticed her and that she could get out of the mall without him ever knowing she was there. Trying to stay calm, Lina called her daughter over. "Sweetheart, are you hungry or tired?" she asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. "Yes, Mommy, I'm hungry," her daughter replied, rubbing her eyes. "Let's go get something to eat, okay?" Lina said with a forced smile, trying to make everything seem normal. She led her daughter to the food court, her mind racing with thoughts about how to avoid Alex. Once the storm cleared outside, she would leave the mall as quickly as possible. That was the only plan she could think of. They found a quiet corner in the food court, and Lina ordered a simple meal for her daughter. As they ate, Lina kept her eyes down, avoiding looking around too much, afraid she might see Alex again. She was tense, but her daughter's innocent chatter about the day's adventures helped keep her grounded. After finishing her meal, her daughter grew sleepy, and soon she was fast asleep in Lina's lap. Lina gently stroked her daughter's hair, feeling a small sense of relief that the little girl was resting. This gave her some time to gather her thoughts and figure out the next steps. The storm outside was still raging, but at least inside, for a moment, Lina could breathe. Just as she started to relax, Alex walked into the food court. He had been wandering the mall for a while, trying to clear his head. The strange encounter at the play zone still lingered in his thoughts, but he pushed it aside, focusing instead on grabbing a quick bite before heading back to his hotel. He found a seat at a corner table, not far from where Lina was sitting, and settled in with his food. Absent-mindedly, he began scrolling through his phone, checking emails and messages. But then, as he glanced around the food court, his eyes landed on Lina. For a moment, he froze, his heart skipping a beat. There she was, right in front of him with the little girl from the play zone, her daughter. His mind raced as he connected the dots. The child he had been inexplicably drawn to was Lina's daughter. Shock and disbelief washed over him. What were the chances? After all these years, here they were, in the same place at the same time. And that child, could it be? Could she be his? Lina hadn't noticed Alex yet. She was focused on her sleeping daughter, lost in her own thoughts. But Alex couldn't take his eyes off them. The familiar wave of emotions, love, hurt, betrayal rushed back, flooding him with memories of their past. He knew he couldn't just sit there. He had to talk to her, had to understand what was going on. But how could he approach her? What would he even say? Taking a deep breath, Alex stood up, gathering the courage to walk over to Lina. This unexpected encounter was about to unravel everything they had buried, bringing the past crashing into the present in a way neither of them could have predicted. "Hi, Lina, how are you?" Alex began. Lina looked surprised to see him approach her. "I'm doing well," she replied. "I'm surprised to see you here in Vietnam," Alex said. "What brings you here?" Lina quickly replied. "I'm here on vacation with my husband and daughter." "Husband? You mean Rohan?" Alex asked. "I didn't marry Rohan," she said before waking her daughter. "It's late, I have to go." With that, Lina hurried away, leaving Alex to stand there and watch them leave. He couldn't believe what had just happened. Seeing Lina after all these years had stirred up emotions he thought he had buried long ago. But it was her words that left him reeling. "I didn't marry Rohan." The statement echoed in his mind, raising more questions than answers. As Lina disappeared into the crowd, Alex felt a deep sense of confusion and frustration. He couldn't make sense of why she would lie about being on vacation with her husband, only to deny marrying Rohan. And who was the little girl with her? Could she really be Rohan's daughter, as he had always assumed? But if that was true, why was Lina acting so evasive? Lost in thought, Alex suddenly jolted back to reality by the ringing of his phone. It was Sophie. He hesitated for a moment before answering, not sure how to explain what had just happened. When he picked up, Sophie's cheerful voice filled the line. She asked about his flight and how his work was going. Alex took a deep breath and decided not to mention Lina. "Everything's going well," he said, trying to sound normal. "But there's been a slight change of plans. I have another meeting here, so I'll need to stay a few more days." Sophie was understanding, though she expressed a bit of disappointment. "I was hoping you'd be back soon so we could finalize the wedding preparations. But work comes first, right?" she said with a light laugh. "Yeah, just a few more days," Alex replied, feeling a mix of guilt and unease. "I'll let you know as soon as I'm done." After hanging up, Alex found himself standing alone on the food court, the bustling noise of the mall fading into the background as he replayed the encounter with Lina in his mind. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, that there was more to the story than what Lina had told him. He knew he couldn't leave Vietnam without getting to the bottom of it. The past had resurfaced, and he couldn't ignore it any longer. Determined, Alex decided to stay in Vietnam and find out the truth about Lina, her daughter, and what really happened all those years ago. Meanwhile, Lina hurried back to her hotel room, her heart pounding. She had managed to avoid a direct confrontation with Alex, but the encounter had shaken her. Seeing him had brought back a flood of memories and emotions she had tried so hard to suppress. But most of all, it reminded her of the secret she had kept for so long, the secret that could change everything if Alex ever found out. As she put her daughter to bed that night, Lina felt a deep sense of unease. She knew that leaving the mall without a proper conversation with Alex had been the right decision now, but she also knew that this wasn't the end. Sooner or later, Alex would find out the truth. And when he did, everything she had built over the past few years could come crashing down. But for now, all she could do was wait and hope that the past would stay buried, at least for a little while longer. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe to hear the next part of the story.